beneficial, it's like, yeah, okay, I get it, but you know what? Talk to me later. I'm, busy juggling. So really appreciate Kyle. He is we have chapter presidents in our organization that are truly leaders, and they're farmers, so it's very cool. I'm really excited about that. Alika, raise your hand, Alika, please, who just gave the Pule, is the president of the Mauna Kaho'ai chapter. Yeah, give it up for Alika. And his chapter is hosting our convention next month. So his board is, what, Alika, about 75% Hawaiian, your board? Yeah, so it's very heartening to know that the local people are like, no kidding, about seeing these initiatives move forward in support of Oahu'aina, Malana Aina. Let me see what else. One more thing is tomorrow morning for the farm tour, you get to sign up for one tour with Lay, and it's 8 o'clock meeting in the parking lot, okay? Today there's going to be panel discussions after the opening presentations. So at 10:30, we're going to be having, this is considered A, so these partitions come across, this is A, which will be the young farmers panel, and the back area there is B, that's cultural connections. So Derek Kiabu is going to be doing the young farmers, and B, Keahi Tijan, is that correct? Cajon? There you go. Cajon is going to be the moderator for that cultural connections. And the school programs, Donna Mitz, okay, is going to be in C, and that's across the way. So as you see in your program, it's not listed A, B, and C, but that's how you can follow it, okay, to know which presentation you want to go to. This would be A, that B, and then the C's across the way there. Yeah, the purslane's ready to go. I just harvested, and I put it in these tubs that you can get from, the big box stores, or you can get them around the island. You've seen these tubs, these plastic tubs. And so what I did, I just put all the purslane I had in that tub, and used approximately 4 pounds of sugar for this video. So could you roll that, please? It's okay if you don't have to have it on.
I think it's off on the.
So this I can be the sound. So in essence, just dump the sugar on top of the purslane. That was 4 pounds to approximately the top, and I take a flat spade. See that flat spade? That's an invaluable tool. Okay, on a number, I can't do without that on my farm. I use it in a lot of respects on my farm. But you see how quick work it makes for chopping up that much purslane and getting the sugar mixed in evenly, throughout it. So these videos, there's 2 short videos, are about 3 minutes long, both of them 4 minutes long, and that's how fast you can get. That made 3 gallons of fermented plant juice. So you can really start to think along the lines of expediting the making of these preparations. What I would suggest, though, is make sure your spade isn't rusty. Okay, so because you don't want iron contents to start getting in your FPJ to where it's not a good thing for your soil, not the iron. But as you can see, it doesn't take much. Then you just flip them around, just do whatever you need to do to get it to where it's going to be. And I'll show you in this video, try to keep it in the tub. But you can see how it turns into a mash. And so you get it all throughout. That's the important thing. Now you see some of the stems I'm looking, so the stems still need some more chopping. So you just get it down and you just chop it to where it then just becomes a mash, and then you put that in your jar, and you only fill up your jar 3/4 of the way. And why is that? People that aren't certified? You want the air for what? What do you want to inhabit inside your jar? What do you want to come in? The lactic acid bacteria, right? That's the mother of bacterias. And it was great. Richard yesterday was sharing that he doesn't put his fermentations in the house, or he sticks them outside so the lactic acid bacteria will inhabit from the outside as part of get that bacteria instead of the ones in the house. So as you can see, that tub full of purslane now is all of a sudden pretty processed down in short order. Yeah. And you're standing up doing it, which is real comfortable. And yeah, it works out really well. So, as being at the place of farming for as long as I farmed, you always look for other ways to do it, to hone your ability to get to the end result in a way that's, I can still spend some time at the beach. And, okay, so we're pretty much there. There you go. Yeah. So that's cool, yeah? Any questions? Anybody have any questions?
When you put it in the jar, do you leave the lid open? Or?
Okay, when we put it in the jar, then I get these 2-gallon jars from, I think I got it from one of the big box stores, 2 gallons, wide mouth, yeah. And then I just put it in the jar and make sure there's no air pockets, just pound it down with my fist, 3/4 of the way, and then I use the paint strainer. You go to a paint store and they have those nylon paint strainers. Have you seen those 5-gallon paint strainers? You put that over with a rubber band and zip pow. Yeah. And this way air can still get in there. You're not having any issue with any kind of molds or anything.
No water or anything?
No water, no. I don't use any water. The osmotic pressure, osmotic pressure draws the water out of the plant from the sugar. The sugar actually draws the water out of the plant. And so then at the end of the week, you're going to have a lot of liquid that you just strain off. And then I take all that purslane, I can put it in my worm bins. And the wormies really love it. Yeah.
You just put it in the jar, you don't layer it with more sugar?
No, that's it right there. That's done. Don't have to layer with more sugar, and it produces a lot of liquid. Yeah, that tub basically wasn't even full of purslane. I put 4 pounds of sugar, and it just worked out really great. And you'll get a feel for how much sugar is needed. Yeah.
If you don't have access to purslane,
If you don't have access to purslane, you want to use something that is succulent. Watercress is really good. I tried it. I had mallow come up in my area like nobody's business. I thought, oh, good, I'll make it into a fermented plant juice, and it's like, oh yeah, hardly got any water out of it. So Drake, I don't know. Would you suggest putting water in something like that where the FPJ is not producing the amount of water that you would want from a plant?
No, not water. If you want to increase the osmotic pressure a little bit, you can add a little bit of salt in with your sugar, and the salt really helps to draw out, like dry things like sweet potato. A little bit of salt will really help to draw out the liquid.
You hear that, everybody? Put some salt.
Just a little bit.
Sugar. Yeah, a little pepper, a little garlic, and then stir fry them up. Yes.
you don't want water. And so yesterday, that you pick it in the morning.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, dear.
You have to pick it in the morning when it's fresh.
Right, yeah, you pick it in the morning before the dew burns off it, right?
Or before the dew.
Yeah.
So it's okay to have the dew.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's when the plants are waking up, in a sense, and you want to get all the vitality up from the plant. And just look around. I mean, these piles that I got the purslane off of are 21 years old. They've been cultured. Every week, us cutting our trays and composting them and doing this in cyclical motion like I showed yesterday. And it's so neat to see how the farm supports by growing that, People are going, oh, what you got? Why are you letting that weed grow in your pile? They just don't understand that that's a resource from my point of view. And it's invaluable. The fermented plant juice, it's really invaluable. Yes, dear.
So for the plant juice, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's a juicy kind of thing?
Yeah, you want succulent. You want to get a succulent plant that will have, that'll give you a lot of water because you're putting time into processing it. You want to make sure that the time you're putting in, you'll get some results, and that helps you, keep excited about what it could represent. Now that, like I said, listen, can I have that jar over there, please? Yeah, thank you. This, and I'll pass this around if you haven't seen this yet. But this is how flowers as a fermented plant juice, and this is a spreader sticker, meaning that when I put it into my, you want to pass it around so people can see it. Take a look at it, smell it, eat it. It's really good. My wife, who's local, said, "Oh, it's like eating moi." So that when you put the how flowers, and I did it the same way here. Every day when I go up Eau Valley, it was I'll in the morning. first thing in the morning, and there's all the how flowers that drop on the ground. I pick them all up and gather and collect for about a week. And then I got plenty how flowers and mix it with the brown sugar. And so when you use this in your formulation, it helps the other amendments that you're spraying stick to the plant and spread out. You know, like Drake was saying yesterday with his tea leaf spreader. You know, that was pretty cool, by the way, Drake. I mean, you know, you rock that one, man. That was very cool. Yeah. And so this way, when you're spreading that out, you know, you can get really nice coverage. The only thing you have to do is you have to strain it. You know, when you're putting it through your, if you're going to actually spray it with a sprayer, they could get clogged. But getting into that's a really great fermented plant juice, and I think you really like what it represents. The how flowers are so beautiful too. Yeah, beautiful flowers. Yeah.
In making the plant juice, can everybody only use brown sugar? Is that because it comes from cane, as opposed to CNH or any other kind that's beet sugar?
You know, who could answer that? Why the brown sugar? Yeah, Drake, come here.
The particular clay jar, the Master Cho explains that clay jar is breathing. Versus if you use a plastic or glass jar, they're not breathable in the side way. Upper way you can make it. So he told me the primary purpose of that one is breathing through the, so you don't use a clay jar with the glazed, the glazed, not glazed. Yeah. So the clay jar without glazed is the one most ideal one. Of course, if you look at it, the clay jar has a little darkness in the, most of the clay jar is a kind of dark brownish, right? So it does not interfere too much the sunlight. Because fermentation is a very important purpose. We're using those things, and the best condition of the fermentation is that you have that jar with 2/3 of the content inside, and 1/3 is the air. That's the best condition to make the fermentation process happening. That's the reason why you mentioned the 2/3, you fill it up.